This little baby got me back online. So I couldn't get connected to the internet the other day for a few days. It was fine downstairs but not in my office, and that's because the Ethernet switch that I was using wasn't working. So a new Ethernet switch solved the problem. So I'm good to go. All my rigs are running, my main PC is running, and I can go back to recording videos and streaming from this room. Yay! But unfortunately I don't have time to do a live stream today, which is something I did want to do. But what I want to do is curate some of the stories that I wanted to talk about in the live stream, and I'll put them all in one video. This video. So let's get to it. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is pricing. And yes, we saw the price of Bitcoin going up slightly, but Ripple is the one that's dominating the news a lot, because you can see here it's been up 39%. It's one of those things, you know, whenever the price of Bitcoin goes up and it jumps a few $100s, there's all these new articles and all that about it. But it, you know, the swings, the ups and downs and swings all the time. So it's not something I get too overly excited about. I don't think I'll get overly excited about pricing until we see Bitcoin go over 10,000 or something. Maybe if it goes over 8,000, I'll maybe start feeling a little bit encouraged. But right now, yeah, we're seeing this a lot where it goes up and then it pumps down and all that. But Ripple seems to have made a lot of movement yesterday. Now, obviously in the video that I did yesterday, I was talking about the 2080 and 2080 Ti. Now, if I can get his name correct, Holger Wittig, who's been posting on my channel, he shared this link. This is a German website, but you can see, you know, what they're showing here in this article. They're talking about the mining hash rate. Now, there's a lot of people talking about mining hash rates. A lot of people doing tests with these. I don't have time to do a video about that today. What I want to do is perhaps do like a curation, and I'll look at all the different articles and videos about it and try and get a better idea of what these cards can do, because I don't actually have the cards myself, so I'm going to have to rely on reviews and articles and videos and see what other people are saying. So I'll do that in a few days. I'll maybe do that next week. But in the meantime, I wanted to share this article because it shows that for Ethereum, if you get 21 with a 1080, what's that, 32.2 with a 1080 Ti, they're saying you get 35.5 with a 2080 and 48.7 with a 2080 Ti. Now, obviously, one thing to note about this is that these scores down here do not have not been using the Ethereum pool. These are just, you know, out the box. With the Ethereum pool, you can probably get about 55 or even more than that from a 1080 Ti, which would put it higher than a 2080 Ti. Now, that means in the short term at least, a 1080 Ti should be able to perform better at mining Ethereum than a 2080 Ti. But if an Ethereum pool or any kind of hack that comes out that gets the most out of the 2080 and 2080 Ti, you will see these scores going up. But by the looks of it, you know, it's the same as what I was saying yesterday as far as the 2080 being slightly ahead of the 1080 Ti. It's a little bit better, but it's not night and day. But just looking at the core scores, the 2080 Ti looks like it could be a really good mining card. I mean, that's amazing. That's 50% higher out of the box before you've applied any kind of, you know, ETH pill. That's a 50% boost. Granted, you are paying through the nose for it, but it'll be interesting to see whether we see a similar kind of pattern with different algorithms. Because of course, it's not just Ethereum out there. There's a lot of different algorithms out there. Personally, I'd like to see how it performs on X16R, X16S, Lyra 2Z, and the Equihash 1445 and 192 and all those ones. I'd like to see how you know, these new cards perform with those algorithms. But you know, what we need to do is wait for people to not only test it but tweak it, optimize it, and then we'll start to see what these cards can really do. And then we'll have to see what you know, what mining scripts can do with it, because the developers of these mining scripts will come out and they'll tweak the software to get the most out of these cards. That's what's probably going to happen. So stay tuned for that. I apologize, I've not been able to do a kind of proper deep research into this, you know, a deep investigation into this, but it's something I will cover next week. The other thing I wanted to share here was this article. Dia, the website, volume 2, issue 37. Now, this is a very interesting article. I'll share this down below so you can check it out, but it's talking about the circulating supply of Bitcoin and talking about, you know, how much people have in their wallets. And And it says here, long-term investors are keeping faith. Okay, 55% of Bitcoin is sitting in wallets that are valued north of $1.3 million. So let that sink in. 55% of all the Bitcoins are sitting in wallets that hold more than $1.3 million. It goes on to say over 87% of Bitcoins are in wallets that have over 10 Bitcoins, so have over $60,000, $67,000 today. The total value just shy of 100 billion. So 87% of all Bitcoins are sitting with people who have more than, basically around $70,000, $67,000, $70,000 of Bitcoin. Now, I'm not a Bitcoin hater whatsoever, so please don't think that I am. But I also see a lot of people on social media, and they basically say Bitcoin is the best and it's the only coin you should be, investing in, and all the other coins suck. And, looking at the market, when Bitcoin goes up, all the other coins go up. When it goes down, all the other coins go down. So there is a good argument that, it is still the daddy, if you want to put it that way. But I also see a lot of people talking about Bitcoin, how it's the only coin that we should be using. But then they also talk about decentralization, and they talk about sharing wealth and all this. And these two things don't add up. When you've got 87% of all Bitcoin sitting in, with people that have 10 Bitcoins, that isn't decentralization, that's centralization. So this is a topic that really does divide opinion. A lot of people have different interpretations as to what what decentralization and centralization means. And I've seen this in the live streams where people talk about it and then someone disagrees. And, we've had all the GPU versus ASIC debate, but I also think that this is relevant as well, as far as centralization of wealth goes, because it's clear that a lot of the people who do have a huge amount of Bitcoin aren't selling it, and they aren't planning on selling it anytime soon. So I'll leave a link to this article anyway. It's quite interesting because you can see here, 10,000 wallet, 59%, it goes up to 80%, 85%, 87%. Quite interesting. I'll let you guys read the whole article. But I definitely think this is relevant in today's world when people are talking about centralization and all that. I do believe that Bitcoin is obviously here to stay. I'm not crapping on Bitcoin, of course I'm not, but I'm not sure how we would ever be able to address that, especially if the value of Bitcoin keeps going up. So the other topic I wanted to talk about was, unfortunately, this is bad news. This is a crypto exchange hack. So there's a Japanese exchange called Zaif. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, you can see they've lost $59 million. Now, it says here that they're going to sell shares to compensate the people that have lost their money. So it says there, they lost 5,966 Bitcoins, currently valued at more than $6,000 each, as well as some Monacoin and Bitcoin Cash. So, I never like reading about this kind of thing, and it really does cryptocurrency a lot of harm, that this, this still goes on. But I'm a realist as well. I don't want to put my head in the sand. I don't think anyone else should either. I've had some criticism recently. Some people would say they're trolls, but I have had some people criticize me, say, oh, your videos have been negative recently. I'm like, listen, if the market's down, I'm going to report that the market's down. And it's the same with something like this. I'm not trying to scare anyone away from cryptocurrency, but what this should be is a reminder to always be careful with your funds. Be careful of where you deposit your money. And, if it's just a few $100s, the risk is limited when you're depositing coins in a brand new exchange or a low volume exchange. But when you're talking a huge amount of money, you have to really be careful about where you put your funds. And, this is testament to that, the fact that exchanges are still being hacked. And I don't think that any exchange is exempt from this. I think that perhaps even the opposite. I think the bigger exchange is, the more of a target it becomes, because obviously there's more money there. So just be careful, guys. Just a reminder to always be careful with your funds, with your wallets. Take precautions. Take the time to take precautions. I know that hardware wallets, which reminds me, I need to do the review of the KeepKey, but I know that hardware wallets can sometimes be a pain to use in comparison to other solutions. But be careful and just watch your money and where you deposit your funds. So I'll leave a link to all these pages. You can check them out. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these topics. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers, guys.